The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
You're listening to the Struggling Artist Podcast.
People need to be entertained. They need the distraction.
With your host, Trev Allen.
I wish to God that somebody would do something to block out the voices in my head for 5 minutes.
Hello, everybody. Today, our guest is the one and only Time and Place. I have been chasing this band forever. We just couldn't line it up, and we finally did. I absolutely love this band. We talked about them recently on one of the Turntable episodes. You can go back and check that out as well. We are here to talk about all sorts of things. We're going to talk about the band. We're going to talk about their upcoming self-titled album, and as well as their record release show, which is this Saturday, June 21st at the Canadian American Club in Watertown, Massachusetts. If you're in the area, be sure to go check it out. This is episode 352 of the Struggling Artist Podcast, Struggling with Time and Place. I want to start by saying I've been chasing you guys for a long time. I'm really excited to have you all on.
We are very happy to be here. We've been wanting to do this for, years maybe?
Yeah,
all the time.
So I'm glad we could figure this out and get it all set up, and it seems like it's at a good time for you guys with a new album coming. You know, this will drop the week the album. So this will drop the Monday of the week that the album drops. So we won't give away too much so people can go listen, but we will talk about it enough. But I do want to start with this. You all have been around since what, 2009?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's a long time. And that's awesome. Now, would you guys consider, like, I talk to people a lot, and I talk like about different projects and how things work. Would you consider yourself a collective? Or are you guys like, it's you guys?
A very exclusive one.
Yeah, it would be a collective that started as 3 and is now 5.
Yeah. So let's break that down. When did you all start adding people? And what was the vision from the very beginning?
Can I try?
Yeah.
So, Braden, Jack, and I were all at UMass Amherst. They played in another band called Orange and the Spokes. I was in a band called The Frills. We kind of crossed paths a little bit. And one way or another, Brandon did kind of come to, at least me, and I think also Jack, with this vision, summer of 2009. And we'd been playing plugged in music or what have you. Somehow the idea became we would like to be able to play in your living room or your backyard or your basement or on a bus or whatever without any gear or anything like that, and just, shout at strangers, etc.
Yeah. Wanted people to hear the lyrics.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, things have changed a lot in a couple of different ways in the many years since that. I feel like we got off to kind of a strong start there because you can like practice anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a practice space in the same way. You can still get the cops called on for your acoustic jams or what have you, as we
we did.
discovered. But so I feel like that like shout real messages at strangers thing kind of carried us for a while. It's maybe 2015. Did the Johnny Cash thing?
We moved from Amherst to Boston. And
Yeah, at that point, Megan and I were playing in a band together, and I heard tales of this time and place. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. They don't have a drummer. I play the drums.
We never needed a drummer.
We'll see what happens.
Just have like enough guitar crashing. That's
Yeah.
the snare part.
Exactly. But then, I was hanging out with Jack and Brandon. They would come around, and I'd say, oh, these are good dudes. And I like them, and it seems like the idea maybe started percolating, that maybe some kind of drummy percussion element could be added. But it really started when the three of you had this idea for a Johnny Cash set, and asked me to do drums for it. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then it worked really well. I thought we worked well together. And it just kind of fell into a 4-person thing at that point.
yeah, well, when you find a good drummer around these parts, you really just got to get your talons
You
into them
Yeah.
and just never let go.
So once we get that guy,
Doors locked from the outside, buddy.
Once we find a good one, we'll let you know.
Fooled you. And of course, we have known Ryan for just as long as we've been a band, and he was just the first and best way to go about for lead guitarist and musical mind.
Originally accordion, importantly.
Yeah, that was the first thing that I ended up doing with you guys was, I think, the split. Not the split. It was
I think it was long.
Long Haul. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, our last album came out 10 years ago, our last full length. And Ryan was on that, I think, exclusively on
I
accordion.
think just on accordion. Yeah, and it was thereafter we sort of shifted gears from just being, an acoustic band that found a drummer to doing, like, hey, let's just do full punk rock. Which I don't know if anything happened in the news in 2016 that might have spurred that on, but
Yeah.
I'm happy. we
Can't
got
think of a
this out
thing.
it.
No,
No idea.
not a
We
thing.
got a lot angrier and a lot louder very quickly.
Right on. Right on. Now, are you all, so y'all, three of you met at college, or did you know each other prior?
Medical.
Met at college? And are you all from the general area, like now? Like, do y'all live in the same area now, or do y'all?
Broadly, Mike and I both live in Watertown.
Yeah, okay.
I'm in Framingham.
Yeah.
Somerville.
Maynard.
Okay.
Metro West, Greater Boston now.
Yeah. So, that's fairly close. You know what I mean, to one
I'm
another?
from Massachusetts. Megan is from
St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
Proud transplant. Yeah.
Right on.
here.
I gotta ask, so like, there's this thing, and I don't know if you guys happen to like, if you guys listen to the show at all, but recently we had our May episode for the turntable, and Troll 2 was one of the bands that got brought to the table, and like I named off a bunch of people, and you guys were one of them. Like, where I talk about like just the music, like it has this like what I consider like an old New England feel with like, and especially like, but like with current issues, right? With the current problems that we all face as people, and with that New England kind of aggression behind it. And that's a really good way, I feel like, to like kind of talk about like the folk rock, folk punk scene in New England in general. Is just like, because like I think a lot of people get misconstrued with New England and rich people and foliage, and you know what I mean, coastal towns, and but like there's a much different, there's a more working class side of it that keeps all that going. You know,
Original recipe pour.
what's that?
You were pour here first.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I personally love like this style and what you guys do. I mean, I wish we were. I wish it was. I wish we didn't have these issues we had to sing about, though, right? Out here in the world. But like, I think one of the best ways is to express like that kind of thing is through art and through music. And you guys are one of the best that do it in this like I don't even know, I wouldn't even like in just this format, you know what I'm saying?
I thought you were going to say in this like late stage capitalism post-apocalypse or something, but yeah, no, I think
that too. But so when you guys first became a thing, like, was it like, I don't know, because I see, I don't know, I think it's the storyteller in me. Like I see something and I just like completely go in a direction with it. So like, did you have this? Like, because when I think of your band, I think of Community, and it could be because of, you know, like the gang vocals or whatever. But like I feel like, and what you sing about, like I feel that sense of community just from listening to your music. So like, was that part of the plan? Like, or were you just kind of like figuring things out along the way, and it happened to go that way?
both, I think. I mean, like there was like a short-lived predecessor idea to this thing called 22 Collective, which was sort of like going to be a collaborative art rotating performance thing, just about bring people together, not a band in particular.
Yeah, we'd have bands out, we'd have brewers out to show you how to brew your own, whatever. We had a shared library, tons of stuff. That was back at UMass. It's always been part of our identity. But I would say, as much as we love Community, I think we fucking hate bullies more, and that's been kind of our whole part and parcel of who and what we are.
I think also, I mean, so I listen to a lot of podcasts about like corporate team building shit, because that's the world that I work in, and I care about it a lot actually. And listened to one a while ago that like the strongest teams are people who train up together. You can see this in like hockey or pro sports or whatever. And I was thinking about this, like Brandon boldly tapped me to play upright bass, which I had never touched before, and Jack to play guitar, which he learned promptly. But like I didn't have any experience ever singing in a band beforehand. And turns out if you like take all of the like microphones and amplifiers away or whatever, you just better all try your hardest. Otherwise you're not gonna be able to hear the lyrics if everybody's not like kind of doing their part a little bit. And so I feel like that kind of probably went a long way.
Mm-hmm. But I'll say this, most of my friends right now are people I've met through playing music and smoking cigarettes, but mostly like playing music. It has been like the best thing I've ever done in my life. So it's always been there and really served me well. I'm sure it's served you guys well as far as meeting new people and really getting new ideas and everything in your life.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know, just thinking about it, I wouldn't know really any of the people that I know now that I give a shit about, for the most part, if it weren't for music.
I do think there is this interesting phenomenon. I don't know if it happens with you guys, but there are certain people I only see at shows, and then when we're together at these shows, it's like we pick up where we left off. And so it's a continuing conversation where we don't really need to be in contact in that middle period. We're just, oh, hey, last time we were talking about this.
Yeah, or you owe me $20.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Where are you going?
It was a gift.
It was a loan.
I think that goes a long way, and that's why one of the reasons, like, I typically use the word community when I talk about the music community here in New England, opposed to like a scene, because like I feel like the scene, there's like people trying to, I don't know, climb their way to the top, and then there's, you know what I mean? Like I've always felt that, and again, I'm from New England. I'm just not from Massachusetts or Boston originally, so like me coming out here and like getting involved in this stuff like meant, I don't know, for me it's just like I'm like, wow, I'm like an outsider, but apparently I'm not, you know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of why I've always approached it that way, where I've lived in other cities and in other states where like I just didn't see that sense of community. So that's why, I don't know, I just think what we have here is special, and I think what you guys are a big part of that in retrospect, because like everything, like I said, like everything I hear, whenever I hear, I can just, it's just like, it just has a sense of community to it. It's just the vibe that you give, and I think that's amazing.
Can I ask? I mean, so I've been here for like my adult life from UMass Amherst onward. Didn't grow up here. Where have you? Yeah.
Oh, so I grew up in Rhode Island, not far, but like, you know, as a kid, it was like traveling the oceans to try to get somewhere. You know what I mean? But like, I've lived in Tennessee, North Carolina, Pennsylvania. Spent a little time in Maine. You know, so I moved around a bit. So you know what I mean? But like, I just never really like felt that music community anywhere. You know. And I'm not saying they don't have them. I was just like, but for me, I was just like, I'm still gonna bump my Boston punk, and you know what I mean.
There's something like particular about Boston too, that like a lot of the bands, like I mean, some of the bands that you were mentioning earlier, like Troll 2, one of the other bands I think you mentioned was like the Old Edison, and like there's just something about like bands that do like kitchen sink or kitchen table, you know, punk rock. Where it's like, it's more about the people that you're sitting around that kitchen table with, like, yelling a song than, like, playing it. And, like, that, I think, is something that, like, you'll find that a lot of Boston bands is just like, oh, yeah, like, we all like the same shit. We'll all be in the same room. I guess we'll all start bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, especially nowadays, like, making it in music isn't so much of a thing anyway. And so I think, like, what I've heard from some other people is that, like, yeah, we're happy to, like, take this band thing as far as we can. But like more, it's about the friends we make along the way, right? But what I mean, more like the friends we keep along the way, like the people that we like to spend time with anyway, and that's who I have the most fun that I have at shows, like not necessarily just the ones that we're playing, though those are kind of the best, just for a personal standpoint. That's where I have the most fun. But like, yeah, like you were saying, these are the people I don't get to see all the time because I'm not in school anymore. I don't see them at work, and I'm not going to a show every night. But like the way I get to stay in contact, especially since I'm not so much on social media, is when I get to go to these shows and see all this, like the same lineup of people, and it's, you know, it's just on again as soon as you see them. And yeah, I can't say if it's unique to Boston, but it's definitely special. Yeah.
Right on. Now, let's talk about. First off, I meant to say this in the very beginning. I'm going to stop right now and say it now. I want to thank you guys for when I took over the record club. Y'all were kind enough and sent like a bunch of digital codes, and I mailed them out to all the members and everything. And I appreciate you guys doing that. I think you sent me some stickers too. Those one as well.
Oh yeah, we threw a bunch of stuff in an envelope.
Yeah. I made sure they got out there to everybody. That was really nice of you guys, and like I appreciate that because I was just getting started with this thing at that time, and like now I have, you know, too many stickers at times, but like I didn't really have a whole lot going on other than shipping them the record they paid for. So I appreciate you guys doing. And again, that goes back to this whole thing of like, you guys made me feel like part of this like community because you were like so kind. You're like, hey, we're gonna send you some stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay, you know, and I appreciate that. I really do.
I mean, this podcast is such a hub of just like
hub was what I was. Yeah,
it is like the confluence of like you guys just like every band that I hang out with. I'm like, oh, and I'll go listen to their episode on the Struggling Artist podcast. And it's like, you know, it is this sort of funny thing where it's like you sort of came out of nowhere at, like after the pandemic when a lot of us were thinking this shit might not come back at all.
Yeah.
And it was like sort of like we were all sort of scattered to the wind. And all of a sudden here's, you know, this thing that's sort of a grounding thing for a lot of these bands in Boston. And obviously like other bands that you get on and stuff too. But there's so many bands in Boston that are on the podcast and like, we've gotten to know you. Like I just played at your house not long ago.
I know. I was pumped.
Yeah, it was like
I didn't know you were gonna play. That was awesome.
I didn't either.
It's really fun.
Dana and I think Chris got COVID or something, so but like it is such a cool thing to see that like right when I think we needed it probably the most was coming out of the pandemic, we found like this little hub of just all these bands to start like, hey, I'm starting to like work on a record again after the pandemic's over, or hey, we're starting to play shows again, and it like kickstarts sort of talking about it, and like having this thing here is a thing that I don't think happens very often, and so like at least to me, it's something that I think is something that I definitely treasure. So thank you for that, Trey.
Oh man, I appreciate that. I really do,
Yeah.
because like, and it became this music thing just on a whim. Like, it kind of just grew into a music podcast. Like I was talking to all sorts of artists and like everything from like bloggers to like just journalists and write, authors and all sorts of things. And then I don't know, it kind of just went into this in 2021, and I was like, all right, I'll stay here. I like this, So, but if you know what, if I wasn't, if y'all didn't treat me so good, like I don't know, maybe it would have been, it still would have been a music thing, but it wouldn't have been like the music thing for here. You know what I'm saying? So, but thank you. That was very kind of you to say, Ryan.
Stop it.
So I kind of want to I kind of want to ask. Let's talk about can we talk about the album a little bit? I know you've had a few singles out already. All great songs.
Hot singles in your area.
And like I said, so like can we give the people a little bit of a preview since it's coming out the same week as this?
Yeah.
Of course.
Cool. Now this is a big one, right? 14 tracks.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Biggest one.
That's awesome. What I mean, given this dystopian world that we live in today, were these songs, any of these songs were hanging around for a while, or they all kind of just came in the
So, I've been wanting to talk about this.
Yes.
I'm hoping you can help me process my feelings, honestly.
Sure. Let's do
Well,
this.
There you go.
We started tracking this album July 2022. Some of the songs are much older than that. Some of them were extremely fresh by that point. It's obviously now middle of 2025. I don't think I've ever made anything more topical or like meaningful to me than this album. But like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. I mean, I
Like-
think there's something to be said for like protest songs are evergreen, and it sucks that has to be the case.
Yeah.
But so earlier single, Flags, serious, kind of intense Brandon solo song. It's pretty critical of the healthcare industry, there are no two ways about it. We recorded this like way before, anything dramatic happened in a,
Outside a hotel.
to anybody to do with, healthcare CEOs or whatever. It just feels very like specific in some ways.
It's tough when you write a song or write lyrics. I don't know. You kind of want it to be timeless, but of the time. And this is the first go that I really tried to be a good songwriter. And not talk about things that had happened like recently that would possibly go by the wayside within a couple months or a year or two. Not like including lines like "but her emails" or something.
Yeah, that new
Don't-
Cambridge song that you wrote.
Yeah.
It's getting stale.
Those Glenn Beck
Yeah.
references.
That Hitler fella, I'll tell
Did you know they're selling us the Iraq War? Yes, Brandon.
Jeb? But
Please clap.
so, yeah, I really, as far as the songwriting standpoint is concerned, tried to really tighten things up. And the more it got tight, the scarier it was. Like, we have a song, Radicalized Young Boots, that is about, the first song, Radicalized, is about going through a health scare, being, what do you call it?
Well, like,
what?
Strapped for Cash having to prioritize food versus rent versus healthcare.
Yeah,
is some
dealing
part
with
of it.
chronic illness, and not being able to actually, go about your own life. And the second part of the song, "Young Boots," is about doing something about it. And Luigi certainly gave us kind of a, I don't know. It seemed almost prescient. Definitely something that
Allegedly.
allegedly, of course, we'll see. So it's difficult to, I don't know, do the political protest songs and keep it in the moment, but also kind of timeless. And I think, I don't know, listening to it now, I'm pretty satisfied with how everything came out, although it's very upsetting that everything
Right.
to kind of continue on.
Yeah.
I
It's like you kind of throw a dart at any date on the calendar over the past decade, and it's like, yeah, a song about it sucking is going to be, it'll still be on point.
Yeah, I think, I mean, and there are songs that, like, you know, that go way back. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a blues singer called Blind Blake, but, like, he recorded songs, I don't know, between 1926 and 1932. He has a song called Police Dog Blues, and it's I mean, it's still happening today. You know what I mean? Like what's like what the content of the song is about is just like, you know, it's about being, you know, it's about racism and, you know, and all these other things, and it's disheartening. Just, I don't know. I get really down. For a long time I tried to keep out of like this whole like political stuff because for myself, because like I want to be able to fix everything and I know I can't. You know what I mean? Like so like my mental health was at state for many years, and then, you know, and then in recent years I've gotten, all right, well I don't know what happened in 2016 to make me want to voice my opinion more, but I have ever since, and like, you know, and it's tough to deal with people sometimes, and and I'm so like,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know how. So I don't know. I'm assuming I'm way older than all you guys. I'm 44. So like for
Way over now.
what's that?
We're ballpark, it's fine.
Okay, all right. So like I've just always like I feel like with people who kind of were born around, we'll say 81, that's when I was born, to like there was this thing of like, as we got older, like it was just kind of like, fuck it all, it's all fucked. But it was either that or you like go at it hard, and like I wish more of us went at it hard, and I was one that didn't. I was just like, everything's fucked. I don't know what the fuck to do. You know what I mean? So, but as I got older, like now that I'm a little bit older, and like, again, we'll say right around 2016 it started happening, I realized like it takes everyone to voice their opinion. It takes everyone to do what they can to make these things not happen. And like, it's just like, I don't know. I go back to like, I feel responsible. I feel like I should have did more. And then like,
This is all your fault, Trevor.
yeah.
You're finally having
It's just one of those things, dude. Like I hold the weight of the world. I've always done that, like with my family, and like something happened in my family. Like I don't know. We won't get into like the trauma that caused it all, but like,
Same.
but
We still
like,
have 15 minutes.
yeah. But you know, so I just like, it's just one of those things, and like I feel like more than ever, and it sucks. Again, like you said, it's great to write a song that's timeless, but like when it's you know, when the content, there's a difference between a timeless song and having the content be timely. You know what I mean? So, but we need these songs. We need these things. We need this art. It shows people who, at the very least, it's going to show people that they're not alone in their thinking either. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's just my kind of take on that. And like, we'll take like the Luigi situation. I had a hard time with it at first because like people who were like openly praising what allegedly was done from him, I didn't understand. Like, these were people like I wasn't against it, but I don't know. I came from a pretty weird place.
Get awfully tricky.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't think any of us think that like healthcare is set up to do right by literally anybody in this country. Like,
Yeah.
you know the barest bit about how it works, you know that it's not designed to take care of anybody except for maybe the people at the very top.
Right.
And apparently not even them consistently. So there you go.
Yeah.
Like it's not really working for anybody. On the other hand, I don't think most people think it would be a good idea if the primary way of kind of solving these issues would be to, you know,
Yeah.
like allegedly do something, you know, early in the morning, take matters into your own hands. Like, but
It's
you
a
know,
weird space. It's a weird, so like to be transparent here, like I grew up around a lot of violence, and like I can't stand it. But like one of the things I can't stand the most was like I was always comfortable around it, and like so for me, like when that happened, and some of the people that I saw that were like like woo-hooing over it, like I'm like I kind of get it, but like you're not from that life. Like why are you? You know what I mean? Like. If you saw that, if someone, but then I understood it because like again, I understood why, and like why people were like not upset about it. For me, it was just like I don't know. I had a problem with just like praising it the way it was at first. Given for my own personal reasons, not like anything anyone did. You know what I mean? So, but as I kind of like thought about it more and more, I kind of saw like, yeah, no, like I get why it was done like this. And then we're in a place and time where we all have a soapbox now with the social media. So I get it. It took me a while to get it, but like I did. And I don't know. I guess I'm just saying that because like, again, like the pain that people have gone through because of the healthcare system, like if it outweighs the other by a long shot. And but for me personally, I was just like, please don't do that. Like you know what I mean? Like not for any reason other than what I just said. Like to me, those weren't the people that I would ever think to be in that position,
I mean, there's enthusiasm for like, hey, this was a message that was sent and apparently received by someone. It's another thing to be sort of gleeful about the means by which it was done.
Yeah, but
it's sort of
it was a weird thing for me to do. But like I said, as I understood it more, like I get it, and I was like, yeah, all right, I get it. But like I will say this too about that whole situation. I feel like they did the media and everyone did a really good job of sweeping it under the rug with the fucking drone thing that happened like right after it.
We still don't know what those were, do we?
They were just a fucking thing to direct attention away.
2 days, everyone started agreeing with the whole thing, and then it was wiped.
Yeah, that was the weirdest part. Like you had people, everyone was agreeing with what was going, what happened.
An impartial jury. That's all I'll say.
So,
But I feel like it highlighted, the Glee for sure, like sort of highlighted the fact that like we don't have like healthy, normal, effective channels for like doing fucking anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you can be a lobbyist and then you can nudge somebody or get somebody in your pocket. But like the fact that everybody suddenly seemed to feel like
There's a grievance
seen and
note,
heard
a
when
grievance note taped to a brick.
Yeah, it's like
the frustration being voiced.
Yeah, when there's like it's a high pressure situation that we were all in all the time, then like a little steam comes out. It comes out loud, it's this wasn't necessarily the best avenue or the best way, but it's definitely indicative of like
oh yeah,
and especially how much people were like, well, not everyone, but a fair number of people were like, yeah, like. And
like, who
that's
doesn't
not
have
necessarily good.
Yeah, who doesn't have a horror story about health insurance?
yeah, for sure. Everyone, and they need to do. I don't know. They should hopefully. Well, it's always going to be privatized, so people are always going to get rich off of it, and they're going to make us sicker. Anyway, I want to go back to the album.
All right.
I'm sorry.
You want to just put U.S. healthcare forever?
I apologize that I went in this tangent about that, but like. But like again, like going back to what I was just saying about y'all, but like your music makes me want to like get out there and do more too. You know what I mean? Like it's great. It's because again, it makes me feel like we're not alone, and we have and there are other people out there that want to go out there and fight the good fight. So let's get back to the album though. So you said 2022-ish were when you started writing some of these songs, and then.
2022, we started recording.
Oh, you started recording them.
Yeah.
So we kind of came together late 2021 after COVID, and we weren't able to play or do any shows or anything. It was kind of a mess. I told them I had about 25 songs, and I was about to start fostering a little girl, so I was hoping that we could put them out before she was placed in our household. So that really put like a time limit on what we could do. And, all four of my compatriots here busted their asses for in the next year, certainly the next 6 months. It was just 2 to 3 practices a week, one-on-ones, the whole thing, trying to figure out my lyrics and the songs. Luckily, they're very easy. I think we were scheduled to actually do it over Memorial Day 2022, but Jack gave me COVID. And so we had to push it.
Early birthday, yes.
Thank you.
Squeezed a few more practices in before that.
Yeah.
It was really on.
So yeah, we pushed it to midsummer, and that's when we got the majority of 10 songs recorded or so, and then we just kind of went on with that.
Yeah.
Several more sessions.
All recorded in Medford.
Yeah, I should mention, so there's a place in Medford that doesn't advertise except for through word of mouth, so I guess this is some of that, but it's called the Soul Shop. That's where we've been recording this thing. Our secret 6th member, at least for this album, Elio DeLuca, put in a ton of work after we were actually broadly done with this whole thing, wrangling like horn parts and organ and keys and stuff and
Just every
backing
bit and
vocals and
piece.
like
Just
Yeah.
corralling all of it.
so I think it was actually technically this last fall that the very last bit of backing vocals got put down. Heather.
Please.
Yeah, I think that was the end of it.
Yeah. So
Just 2.5 years
yeah, just 2.5 years.
or so.
That's like practically running around by itself. It's like
It was a
potty trained
bit
at that
of
point.
Chinese democracy for us. Like we just want to make everything perfect. And
Is that what that means?
yeah.
Okay.
It's a reference to the name of an album, not the situation with politics in China.
I don't think the guy who made that album knew that either, so that's fine.
But yeah, no, we. All right, we'll have to talk after this.
15 years, what are you doing? Go away, right?
So we spent a ton of time. So did Elio. Again, all the players in this album. There were so many to list, and we will. I mean, one of them is Josh Cantor, who is the organist for Fenway Park. Yeah. Ben Patrikas from Christian Alliance. Horn section.
Alan Chase comes to mind. Yeah, I don't know. We don't need to name drop
Of
like
course.
fancy people that we
But
only know
Mike's
because
on it.
Elio wrangled them for us. But
there.
So
Zoe from Troll 2, Will Berry
Yeah.
from
Will Berry's
Born
on
Against.
there.
Yeah.
Heather from Pink Sloop.
Yeah.
Ben Stein.
Mike Dunn from Blink. I mean, just constant sessions. So we knew who we wanted. We knew what the sound was supposed to be like, and Elio really worked with us to finally perfect it.
Recording this thing was also sort of bananas, like steep learning curve at the beginning, because the idea was to make like a kind of like a naturalistic folk punk record. We'd done other things that were, sort of amplified and stuff like that. But the idea here was to somehow, have us crashing away on our acoustic instruments with the loudest drummer in the world also live in the room and be able to capture that and have the whole thing feel energetic and natural. And that's a little tricky. I think we learned a lot over the first few kinds of sessions, because recording in like a totally different way than we've ever done before, for sure.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Brandon,
Okay.
now, is the songwriting? Is it everyone writes songs, or Brennan, do you kind of bring everything and then everyone puts their touch on it, or?
Yeah, basically, I write the lyrics and I bring the bones of the song
Yeah.
to them, and we just kind of like do it together after that.
So, do you see the lyrics first, or do you hear a melody first?
I'm typically always writing, so I have a notebook
Okay.
full of something, and if I'm playing something on guitar or banjo, like a line will just like hit me. I'll remember it, and we just kind of work from there.
Yeah.
And I'll just work from my stack.
I don't know if you know the running gag with this podcast, but I write and I don't know how to write a song, and like I said, this is like.
Me both, buddy.
Yeah, once I figure it out, I'm ending the podcast. Like that's kind of like the running joke here. So like,
crowdsourcing how to write good.
one of the things I've learned is
like kings.
May I suggest the chord C?
G's also got some real mileage on it.
What's that way from D?
Yeah.
How about that?
right on. Yeah, so I mean, you guys sent me the link to the album. I had a chance to check it out. I can't wait for it to be out there for everybody to listen to at the end of the week. The end of the week of when this drops. But like, it's a lot of songs. It's awesome. It's a lot of songs. Are you guys going to do any physical media for this one?
At some point,
Yeah.
there will be
Like dancing?
there will be a physical songbook,
Oh, that's cool.
lyrics and chords.
Yeah.
Because these are not complicated songs. Anybody who wants to play them.
I'm right here.
Well, I'm not saying it's not. They're incredibly meaningful to me, but
There's
they're
a lot to be
supposed to
said
be
for good fundamentals.
accessible.
You know
like
what
if
she
they
meant.
are.
The mic with a guitar.
I just hate when we argue on podcasts. Happens every time.
Or like 2009 mission statement was simple songs anyone can play, so they know they're not alone. Like
It's
that's
in the
it.
chart.
Like there you go. So that's going to exist at some point.
Okay.
No
Yeah.
specific plans around like. I mean,
CD, LP, like vinyl.
people
Vinyl one day.
someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. So it seems like Brandon, you write a lot. You said that you're just constantly writing. Yeah, writing songs. So this isn't the last LP from Time and Place. I'm taking it then.
Yeah, I think I got a few EPs left.
Yeah.
I again, we started recording this 3 years ago. I have a few more songs.
Yeah.
A couple things have happened since.
Yeah.
We wrapped on this album.
Just when I'm thick, I'm out.
Yeah.
Fucking world pulls me back in.
Probably had the foster kid on one of these albums playing or something. But yeah, no, it's been such a wonderful experience to share this with the band, with these people who I do consider my family. It's been really great artistically to be able to do the thing, write the songs, see it actually come out and be fleshed out, and see everyone's individual stamp on it. And to see it have life breathed into it. So yeah, I may have lied to them that this would be my last album, but yeah,
Whatever it takes to get the
yeah.
get
I think
everybody
we're used to it at this point.
I'm an old cis white dude. No one really needs to hear too much, but we still got a few songs, and again, now that I have a daughter, my perspective has changed and switched so much that I'm writing from a different perspective and angrier than ever somehow. So yeah, I think we're not exactly finished.
Good.
show.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Oh,
that
what show?
about the show. I'm super excited to play this front to back.
Yeah.
Like,
So albums coming out this Friday.
Yes.
The 21st.
Oh, no, on the 20th.
20th. Yeah.
Or it's 16th anniversary.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Our quinceanera.
Pretty good for a
That's
driver's
what that
license and
Uh-huh.
That's
We're gonna put on a nice frilly dress.
Oh no, no, it is. You're right.
It's been in the pipeline long enough that we've been slowly trickling the songs into playing live at our shows. So people have seen some of them already, but there's the bulk of them that are still unperceived.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on Saturday,
Yep.
June 21st, we will be playing this thing top to bottom. We're practicing. To me, that feels like a marathon because it's 14 songs, but I'm sure we'll be in tip-top shape by the time it's happening. So, looking forward to that part too.
In the lineup. Trevor, would you? So the lineup of the show.
Sure.
Is us, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, no
We're still
particular
on.
order.
I'll be there.
But
Check my notes.
Christians and Lions, Lenny Lashley, and Evan Greer.
Nice.
We're
Nice.
very, very excited for all those acts. I grew up on all of them, and it's so nice to actually have them all in.
Sitting on that like a church fire for the past couple of weeks. Very excited.
Well, where's it at? Where's the show taking place?
Yeah.
At the Canadian American Club in Watertown,
Okay.
and yeah, pretty excited about it.
What
If you
time?
haven't been there, it's great. You've got to go.
Yeah.
There's a vibe.
Yeah.
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 What's
If you're
up?
hunting for the days of a VFW hall show. Ooh, buddy.
What time? What time does the show start?
You'll have to check our social media for the for the details there.
We're not sure.
Right on.
Not too late.
Party time.
Sun might be out, might not be.
I'll make sure I get a link if there's a link for it. I'll get it in the show notes for the end of the episode. So, yeah, I'm excited. I might have to take that day off from work, to be honest with you. I'm working that day, unfortunately, but we'll see. I don't know. I might need to, because I've yet to catch you guys live, and that aggravates me to no end. I work a job that has a crazy schedule, and like I have 15 days off a month, and I can't seem to line anything up right this year. So I'm like, so I might be taking some vacation time on June 21st.
I mean, obviously, you can edit this out, but are you like a nurse or a firefighter or like?
No, I work for a biopharma company, and so I make sure all I do is I make sure all their equipment runs properly. That's it.
Well, that's important.
Yeah.
So
Well, one of us could make a call that day. You need to work. And it would be okay. You don't even have to call out.
right on.
The first call.
Oh yeah. So where can people find you all on the socials? How do they find you? Where is the best place for them to purchase your music?
And to Google.
So we are on Facebook. In no particular order from boomer to least boomer, but starting with Facebook, Time and Places now.
You'll
We're
find
also
us
on
in the Sears
Instagram, timeandplace.band, and our TikTok is
I think it's just time and place.
Nailed it.
really
I think it is.
Huh?
I think it's just
cool.
yeah.
And y'all have one of those link tree things too, right? So I can
do.
I'll use that too. Yeah, for people.
Yes.
Cool.
But we have to
I don't know. I can't wait. I can't wait for this album to come out. I can't wait for people to hear it. I like I said, I was chasing you guys for a while. I felt a little rejected. Not really, but but I was like, I felt like I was at the point where I was going to start bothering you guys to come on. That's why I was like, so Ryan had told me, hey, it's time. I'm like, all right, cool. This is awesome.
Well, on our end, it was like, hey, you really need to go. Like, ask Trev when he has time. And I'm like, yeah, I'm nervous though. He's got a lot of people that come on.
No, I'll always make time for time and place. So, you guys, you're great. You're absolutely great. And I'm sorry I haven't been able to check you out live yet. So,
Well, we'll see you Saturday.
We'll rectify that.
hopefully, yeah.
What are you going to do about it, Trevor?
I can have you come play my house. Ryan's done that. It's a decent time.
I can vouch for it. It's a great
so
time.
down.
Maybe we can think. There's one. We're doing one this summer. Maybe we can talk about it. Are you guys? Do you guys? Before we leave, are you guys planning on doing like? I mean, it's got to be hard to book a lot of shows when there's 5 of you and everyone has lives and families and all that stuff. So, but is there like? Do you guys have any kind of I don't know, update or not update, but like, are you guys plan on doing any sort of touring for the album at all? Like little weekenders or anything?
Touring might be an awfully strong word, but we do have some sweet stuff planned for the summer. So we'll be at the Sill with. What date is that?
July 14th. We're going to be at the Silhouette.
Is it really the
with
14th, not the
July
18th?
14th. It's a Monday.
Oh yeah, that's a Monday. Yeah.
That's going to be with Taillight Rebellion and Sunny Jim. That'll be
old
fun.
friends.
Old friends. August 3rd, we're doing something at the Jungle.
With the Only Humans.
Only Humans.
Great folks. And
Love
then
'em.
on the...
August 8th, we're up at the Shaskeen in Manchester with, get this, Tiger Man Woe and High Water Haulers. Like, come on.
Oh, that's gonna be so good.
Yeah. And then I will say
Our
this.
great friends. We love
Opening, because I
them.
hate playing after both of those.
The
things.
Shaskeen also has great steak tips.
We
I
better be
encourage
open.
everybody get a pre-show meal, then come dance and sing along. Oh, it's gonna be a great summer.
Awesome.
Well, thanks, Dad.
Well, I thank you all for coming on and talking with me today. Like I said, this was like, you guys were like on like the list. I was like, I can't wait to have them on. So I appreciate you guys taking the time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Seriously.
Yeah, well, of course. Hey, when it's time for another EP or LP, hit me up. Let's do this again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, and that's the show. I want to thank Time and Place again for being today's guest on the Struggling Artist Podcast. In the show notes, you have links to their music, a link to their Instagram. Go check out that show on Saturday, June 21st. Doors open at 6:30 over at the Canadian American Club in Watertown. I just want to take a minute to say thank you to Chris Chavez, Jeff Bousquet, and Aria Rad for being part of the Struggling Artist Podcast team in many different ways and many different aspects. These guys keep things going when I'm having a meltdown. Check them out on Instagram. You can find Chris at 716 The Sound, Jeff at JRB Image, and Aria at Coffin_salesman. Big shout out to Mark Lind over at State Line Records for being sponsors of the podcast for 4 years now. Go over there and see what Mark's got. He just released a new, it's a split 12-inch an EP on each side with Generation Exit. So it's Mark Lind and the Unloved on one side, Generation Exit on the other. Be sure to check that out. Go pick up a copy. They're inexpensive. Mark is about just getting the music out there. So you're not going to pay $1 million like you do when you go to some of these stores to buy records. People over on the Patreon that's helping us out over there, thank you so much for being patrons. I hope you enjoy all the content. Struggling Artist Radio has returned. I love it. I missed it so much, and I'm glad it's back. I'm glad we're doing that again. Head over to patreon.com/podcast TSA and check out what we have going on over there. The tiers are inexpensive, and you got a bunch of different podcasts on there, and we have some things in the works for this year for other things for you guys to check out. So struggling, no, it's not. It's patreon.com/podcast TSA. Hey, listen, if you check out this show, if you listen to us every week, I thank you. If you check us out just once, I thank you for that as well. You tell someone, hey, go listen to this jackass try to interview people. I appreciate that as well. Anyone who writes into us, trev@thestrugglingartistpodcast.com, or if you leave us a voicemail on the hotline, the Struggling Artist hotline, which is 774-570-1552. It is much appreciated. All that stuff, I appreciate it. I don't care about Spotify reviews and all that stuff. I haven't even looked at that in forever. But, what I do care about is that people are actually listening and getting the word out and reaching out. And that's the best part. That's why I do this. And I can't thank you enough for listening. All right. Time and Place was kind enough to give us a tune to play off the new record. This is off of the album Time and Place. The song is called The Want Machine. Until next week, take care of yourselves. We'll talk to you then.